Talented Thursday with Kimberly, Eichelle. Let's go. Yeah. Everybody day boy. Every Thursday night, let me be specific. Yeah. You're gonna see a great show at 7 p.m. Pacific. Kimberly, Eichelle will be on the mic, hosting talented people that she knows you like. Come on in, tell a friend, yep, you found your crew. Every Thursday at 7, make sure you come through. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly. Talented Thursdays, the place to be. Talented Thursdays, stay locked in right here every Thursday night. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly, Eichelle. Whoa, whoa. Talented Thursdays with Kimberly, Eichelle.
Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Kimberly, Eichelle, and welcome to another episode of Talented Thursdays. I am so happy tonight. Y'all have no clue. I am honored by what God has been doing in my life, and man, tonight is major. So you are in for something special, but keep coming in. Come in, make sure that you are sharing the stream, that you are also pressing like so the story and tonight's interview can get out to more viewers. You gotta share. If you love the show, please share again, because we want to get tonight's interview to as many people as we can. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So come on in again. Make sure that you're commenting, telling me where you're watching from, where you're representing from. Yeah, you in for a treat. So let me just share something with you. I remember auditioning for several major events and being told no. One show told me that I wasn't what they were looking for that season, which is fine, right? Another already had an actor in mind and was simply, doing Hollywood. They had to do auditions. And so I wasn't going to get that part anyway. And then a third said they would call me, and they never did. They never did. But I did not let those times of no stop me. Yes, there were times I felt sad or I wish things would have gone differently, but I kept pressing on. I kept moving forward and creating a path that I know God has called me to. How many of you can relate to that? How many of you have heard no over and over, but you know that that no cannot stop you, that you've got to keep going? Do you know your calling? Do you know what you were made for? I believe by the end of tonight, you're going to hear something that encourages you and uplifts you and tells you to keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. I have Navell Davis who's tapping in. He said, hello, friend. Hello, friend. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Oh, I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. So listen here. Tonight's guest, he released a cover of the Winans song called Millions. And if you've never heard it, the lyrics state, millions didn't make it, but I'm one of the ones who did. It's a song that tells of heaven and how when he gets there, he'll thank God because millions didn't make it, but he's one of the ones who did. The irony of it all is that the song applies to Ashford Sanders' life right here on earth. We recently watched him on America's Got Talent, and he was also on BET's Sunday Best. There's millions of people, as we know, that dream of making it to big stages, but Ashford is one of the ones who did. He's a gifted singer, songwriter, entertainer, and entrepreneur whose journey is rooted in gospel music and an unwavering faith. He's a native of Canton, Mississippi, and discovered his passion for singing at a very early age. We first saw him as a top 5 finalist on BET's Sunday Best, and again more recently as a national spotlight contestant on NBC's America's Got Talent. Beyond music, Ashford is also an entrepreneur, and the creator of, or the owner, I should say, of Ashford's Kitchen, bringing together his love of food, music, and community. He has also remained connected to his Mississippi roots through his involvement with the Canton Music Festival. Beyond the talent is a testimony of resilience and faith that only he can tell. Up next, I'm elated, y'all, to talk with none other than the multi talented Mr. Ashford Sanders. You're watching Talented Thursdays.
I don't think they're ready for this. You know what time it is? It's about that time of the week to showcase what you got. The talent that we have, it's a whole lot. You can sing, you can dance, you can rap, you can write. It doesn't matter. You know what time it is? Put your hands in the sky and wave them side to side. If you feel alive. Talented Thursday with Kimberly, Eichelle. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you all for coming in. Make sure again that you are sharing the stream because we want everybody in here tonight. Make sure you're pressing like so Facebook and all those algorithms can start working. I'm excited, y'all, to introduce this gentleman tonight. Hey, Jabril, thank you for tapping in. I Man, there's so much to look forward to, but y'all know how we do. We got to do the drum roll. So let's do the drum roll and give it up for none other than Mr. Ashford Sanders. Hey, Ashford. He's
Hey,
here,
how you
y'all.
doing?
I know he's
Can you
here.
hear me
Let's
okay?
see. There he is. There he is. He's on the
Can you hear
road
me okay?
traveling. I can hear you just fine. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Okay, that's good. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry that I'm on the road traveling, but I've been ripping and running. It's been one crazy week.
Oh, yes. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I have Josie Davenport watching. She said, hello, Ashford.
How you
Yes.
doing? I'm chilling like a villain, whatever that means.
Whatever that mean. I know that's right. So look, we're gonna get started. Like you said, you're on the road. First of all, congratulations go out to you. But before
Yes,
we
ma'am.
even
Thank
dive
you.
into that area, I want you to rep your city. You from Canton, Mississippi, and you're now in Atlanta.
I
So who you repping tonight?
come from a Poe family,
Uh-huh.
definitely representing Canton, Mississippi, exit 119 all day long, every day, all the time. I come from a Poe family. We didn't have much, but
Uh-huh.
the Lord been good to me. Shout out to the Canton Spirituals, the legendary Canton Spirituals.
I know that's right. Legendary. Yes, indeed. That's that good old quartet music, huh?
Oh,
Y-
ain't nothing like it. There's nothing like it in all the earth.
I know that's right. Nothing like it. So again, congratulations on making it to the quarterfinals of America's Got Talent. How are you feeling? I know
Thank you.
you,
I
like you
appreciate it.
said, booked and busy, but
Um,
how you feeling?
I'm good. After being eliminated from the show, I had mixed emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically, although okay, so what I didn't know was okay, so they chose my song for me, and
Okay.
so I remember they had sent me like 15 songs to choose from. And so
Mm,
they would send the songs, I would sing the songs, send it back, and they would say, let's try this one. I sing that one, send it back. And so out of all the songs, I mean, they had sent me stuff by Bohemian Rhapsody, Ed Sheeran,
wow.
um, Rocket Man by Elton John. They didn't send me no Luther Vandrosses though, nothing like that. But
Mm,
which I was counting on me, I was counting on me a good Luther. But
yes,
nevertheless,
sir.
and so I remember the first day being in the rehearsal with the vocal coach and the producer. And this song is it has
Let's see. You fading out
and
on me,
they said,
Ashford.
"Well,
Can you hear
I'm
me
fading
okay?
out. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. I can hear
Okay.
you
All
fine
right. I just
now.
got to make sure I'm gonna be out of these woods in about 10 minutes. But hopefully, it's working right until I get out these dang on woods. But I was gonna say,
Yes.
yeah, I had the rehearsal with the producer and the vocal coach, and
Okay.
I told them that I didn't think that the song was a good song. Not no no. Let
Mm,
me rephrase that. Not that the song wasn't a good song, because I think the Teddy Swim song is an excellent song. Actually, I didn't think it was a song appropriate for me for the first live show.
gotcha. Okay.
Because the song talks about love.
Again, for those who are listening, bear with us with the technical difficulties. Ashford is traveling right now, so he'll be kind of coming in and out, but we're so glad to have him
Okay,
here. Yes. So you said the Teddy Swim song you felt
I'm gonna
was
try
not
my best not to move.
okay. Be still.
I felt that it was an excellent song. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. I'm gonna be still. I felt that the song was a great song. I just don't think it was a great song for me on the first live show.
Gotcha.
Um, it didn't really match the. So I knew the video that we were shooting. I knew the B-roll, what they were asking me, the questions they were asking me, the statements
Mm-hmm.
I was making, and so I knew they were going to compile this into an excellent story, because the story is a
Uh-oh. You said
I
because the story is okay. Bear with us again, you all. Our guest for tonight is Mr. Ashford Sanders of America's Got Talent and Sunday Best. Again, he is traveling, so there will be just a few technical difficulties as he travels through the woods tonight. So, again, those of you who are watching, make sure that you are sharing this live, that you are also pressing like and your hearts. So the stream can get out. So again, you said you knew the B-roll that they were going to play during that time, the questions that they had asked you, but you felt that that song was not a fit for you. Is that correct? Uh-oh, we lost him. We lost him. He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. So again, thank you all for being here tonight. Again, it is Thursday night, one of my favorite nights of the week, and we have none other than Ashford Sanders, who is coming right off of Talented Thursdays. I have some comments over here that I want to respond to. Again, Stella John, she said, "Hey, sis. Hey there. It's so good to see you." Thank you for tapping in. Jabril said, hello, my friend. Jabril, it's good to see you as well. Estella said that she is from Newton, Mississippi, is where she's from. She said, hello, peeps. Also, Latoya said, hello, guys. Hello, hello. And Justin Smith is in the building of Vegas Praise Radio and Diligent Hands Media. What's up, Justin? He says, so political. Let's see. Garcia Smith said, give him time. Yes, indeed. Give him time because I know that Ashford has some things to talk about tonight, and we are here to listen. He is back, actually. So thank you so much. You tap back in with us.
Oh, thank the Lord. That's Garcia Smith. That's my mom.
Oh, hello. Hi, Mom. She said, give him time. Yes, ma'am, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. Look,
yeah,
I'm
she know I'm
here.
on
I'm
this dang on
excited.
road. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
almost to where I
yes.
needs to be. This is just I've been traveling all day from Mississippi and back, and then headed back to Mississippi tomorrow for an event for the Williams brothers or Doug Williams on
Oh,
Saturday.
wow.
I'm excited about that. That's gonna be fun. I'm doing a tribute song to Doug Williams, and that should be
Beautiful.
pretty fun. But nevertheless,
Yes.
I'm like close to the end of this road, and we should be good once I hit the highway. But I was gonna say, back to what I was saying, I thought the Teddy Swim song was a really
Mm-hmm.
nice song,
Yes.
but for it to be the first live show, it just didn't have the onions and the garlic and the seasonings and the black pepper.
Mm-hmm.
it
Come on.
didn't have that thing that it needed to nail the first live show, especially being that I saw the piece that we were putting together. I knew the questions they were asking me in the interviews, and I said it's going to be a phenomenal package that they're putting together. So I
Mm,
personally wanted to sing gospel, but I didn't want to come off as Hollywood or difficult to work with, or so I'm gonna do what they're asking me to do. But I did try my luck. So when
okay.
we were in rehearsal and we were going over the song, love, 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 because that's all that really matters in the end. I could hear a choir in the background, and I said, "Hey, I think this will have more feeling if we
Mm-hmm.
added a choir." You know,
Mm.
and so that's when the music director said, "Yeah, we're not able to make those kind of changes." So once he told me that, I kind of just shut down. Like, all right,
Oh, wow.
let me hush up and just follow their lead. And so,
Mm.
but I felt coming out of that package, it was a moment to speak to people who have dealt with what I'm going through, dialysis and kidney failure. And
Yes.
fortunately enough, I had enough hope and faith in God, but some people don't have that same hope and faith. But to look at me on that stage and encourage them. So I thought the song I should have sang should have been, what do you do when you've done all you can and seem like it's never enough? Well, you just stand. I thought stand would have been appropriate. I
Yes,
thought
sir.
even my song, millions didn't make it, but I was one of the ones who did. I thought that would have been appropriate, but I didn't
Yes.
necessarily know if I had the wiggle room to make any of those suggestions. So I kind of stayed quiet. And then I'd be darned if Simon
Mm-hmm.
Cowden say, "Yeah, I just thought it was the wrong song." Like, Lord, I
Wow.
knew that from the beginning,
Yes.
you know.
Wow.
And so if I would say that's my only regret when it comes to being eliminated. I wish I had gotten eliminated knowing I got eliminated doing the best I could, because I didn't even like the performance. I could never connect with that song. We had
Yeah.
a billion rehearsals, and in every rehearsal, I left out of there shaking my head, and I kept telling them, "I'm not connected. It's not connected. I'm not getting it. It's not working."
Yeah.
And
And for an artist, that
unfortunately,
is very hard, to not be able to connect to your song because that's all part of the delivery. So if you
right.
didn't connect, like you said, you felt it. So I wish just you singing seconds of stand and just you singing seconds of millions, you could feel the difference. You could feel the anointing that flows through, that music. That's you. And
Right.
so, yeah, yeah, but we
And that's
loved
what I
you
feel should
and
have
enjoyed the
shined
journey.
after. Yeah, I felt like that should have shined, because coming out of that package of people hearing about your dialysis journey or your house
Yes,
burning down, and here you are now on America's Got Talent. That's that moment where you said, "Thank you, God. Thank you for
yes,
keeping me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for looking beyond my faults and seeing and still blessing me to be on a stage as such as this." And that's what. And unfortunately, all that really matters didn't speak that volume.
yes, absolutely. I hear what you're saying. But again, what a great run you had on the show. And we are very proud of you. So
Yes.
again, we're looking for so much more. I want you to take me back to the moment you first walked onto that huge AGT stage. What was going through your mind at that time?
It was a surreal moment, because for years I had auditioned for shows like American Idol, and I never made it because I always wanted to get in front of Simon Cowell, always.
Okay.
And so when it came to American, because as blunt as Simon was, I was always
Hmm.
on his side. I always agreed with what he said.
There you go.
So to now be on a stage in front of Simon, make it a break it moment. I'm down to one bar, so let me know if I'm going out.
Okay, you doing all right. You were for a second, but I can hear you
Okay.
now.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the one moment that's gonna make it or break it. People didn't tell me I can sing all my life, but
Uh-huh.
now
Come
I'm
on.
finna see what's. say. And whatever sign got to say, that's what it is. And so long story short, um I started what threw me, what they didn't show on TV was at the actual audition,
Mm-hmm.
Simon asked me, was he said, "Are you sure you okay with singing this song? This is the Billie Eilish song, What Was I Made For?" And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, because likewise, the producers also picked that song.
Oh, wow.
They also picked that song. And I remember when they first sent me the track,
Uh-huh.
and it was this when I looked the song up, it was this white girl singing in soprano, singing with a bunch of air, singing very high. And so I
Straight
had to reach
soprano.
back out, and I'm like, I think y'all sent me the wrong song. And it was like, no, that's the song we want you to sing. And so I had to go in. But what it did was it showed me I was capable of doing something that I had never explored. I,
Exactly.
yeah, it showed me that. So when I'm in rehearsal, shout out to Courtney Harrell and Scott. They were excellent vocal coaches and music directors. Let me just say this. One thing about America's Got Talent,
Mm-hmm.
they had they had a way of making every contestant feel individualized. Like,
Wow.
they made all of us feel like we were the most important, the most important contestant there. Like, nobody there meant more than we meant. Like, it was amazing the way they were able to treat us and make us feel on top of the world, to the point where coming home felt weird. You
Mm.
know, it felt
Yes.
weird. It felt out of place. But nevertheless, with that being said, so yeah, when they gave me What Was I Made For, I had to figure out a way to sing the song. So what I did was, in my brain, I
Mm-hmm.
registered it as if it was gospel.
Come on.
Yeah, that's the way I had to think it through. Like, God, what was I made for? I can't
Yeah.
be here just to work a 9 to 5, get off, go home, eat, go to sleep, wake up, come back the next day, work a 9 to 5, get off, go home, eat, go to sleep. What was I made for?
What
What
was
was I
I
put here
made for?
for? There got to be more to my life than this. Where is my abundant life that you told me
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have? It can't be built up on me punching the clock, working for somebody every day of my life, only to get old and never find out what was I made for. And so, that's how it. When I got to the part, when did it end? All the enjoyment, because sometimes in life I've
Mm.
registered that with, you could feel on top of the world, but then sometimes you go into this depression, and it's like, what happened to the laughter? I used to laugh, and I used to have
Yeah.
so much joy. So that's where my brain went. I'm sad again, but don't tell nobody, because that's not what they made for. This is what I'm going through. So I don't want my depression to weigh on anybody else. So that's the
Mm.
way I registered the song, and it came across extremely well, and people really admired it across the country and the world.
Yes, indeed. I totally agree. I watched, of course, your audition video, and you sang that song, but it wasn't Billie Eilish's version. It was definitely Ashford's version, and it came across as
Yeah.
ministry. It literally had me
Yeah.
in tears. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Wow.
felt that thing because everyone at some point in life has that question. What was I made for? What am I here
Right.
for? What is my purpose? And the way that you delivered that song was so powerful. I'm like, I had never even heard Billie Eilish's version. So I went to look it up and I'm like, this man made this song his own. Do you hear me? She sounds pretty and airy, but
Right.
Ashford's version, you took us to church.
Yeah. Well,
It
I'm going to
was,
studio
God,
and
what am I
record
here for?
it. Yeah, we're gonna go in
Yeah,
the studio and lay it down and release it.
please lay that down.
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
lay it down for all of us, okay? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
indeed.
We're working on it. I'm gonna record both songs. I'm gonna do All That Really Matters and
Yes.
Billie Eilish, because I think I'm gonna target All That Really Matters the way I would have done it if I had full
Mhm.
control. If I had full control with the choir on the background, I'm gonna bring it to life.
Come on through. I'm excited to hear it. Look,
Yes,
those of
ma'am.
us that have been watching and listening, I am excited to hear whatever you put out. I heard millions, and when I heard your version of that cover, and I grew up a Winans fan, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So as soon as I heard you say, if I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. He about to sing my song. Okay, and you gave it you. And so
And you know
that's
what's
what makes it.
crazy?
Uh-huh.
When they gave, so millions come from my time on Sunday best. They were also picking my songs for me,
Okay.
and millions was one of the songs that they picked. I had never heard it, but when they first played it for me, I could not stand the song. I did not
Get
like it.
out of here.
I didn't like the song because they were giving people like Josh Rogers and Denitra
Uh-huh.
Moore, they were giving them the more modern update songs,
Right.
and but they were giving me the James Cleveland classics and the older
My,
stuff.
my,
And I'm
my.
like, I didn't want to be put in a box like I wasn't capable of doing up to date music.
Right.
Um, but thank God that they did give me millions because that song, it will never die.
Never,
It will
never.
never
That is
die.
such a classic song, and it's such a
Yes.
beautiful song, and you did it justice for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I read that you started singing around 5 years old. So, what did that little boy know that still rings true for you today?
Um, back then, I was a kindergarten singing in the third grade choir.
Oh my.
And, and I remember my aunt and them would come to town. And at that time, I didn't know God or Jesus or anything of that
Mhm.
sort. I just knew I sounded good to myself. And
Yeah.
I remember one of the songs that I was in love with was Aaron Hall had a song said, I miss you. I'm talking to you, baby.
Yeah.
And I used to listen. We used to talk, and as a 5, 6 year old, I used to sing that song. And every time my auntie and them would come to town from New Orleans, they would
Uh-huh.
always have me to sing that song for them. And then
Wow.
I remember during my kindergarten graduation, my kindergarten teacher, Miss Hinkles, she
Mhm.
asked who could sing Michael Jackson's "Heal the World."
Oh
And I raised
wow.
my hand, and she sat me down and put the headphones on my ear, and I hear, there's a place in my heart, and I know that it is love. And I sit there and I learned it, and I end up singing it at my kindergarten graduation. And from there, Mr. David Jackson comes along, and he was like,
Mhm.
I want him in the third grade choir. And they put me in the third
Wow.
grade choir, and I led Jesus, oh, what a wonderful child.
Yes, so
So,
lowly, meek, and mild, huh?
right, yep. And so from there, I remember going and telling my mama I wanted
Mhm.
to join a church choir, and
Wow.
and I think I was the reason she even got in church because Greater Mount Levi Baptist Church in Kent, Mississippi, had one of the largest children choirs ever under the
Wow.
direction of James Harris, and we went and joined Mount Levi, and I joined that children's choir, and we were bad to the bone,
I
and
know that's right.
so Mr. Harris didn't play; he was strict. He had us dancing, and we were. And so I think all of those moments were preparing me for who I am today. And then 1993, I was 6 years old at my auntie Nini's house, and on the cassette, on the VHS, on the TV, it says the Canton Spirituals, and I hear a song talking about an old man that used to go to this church in the woods, and the choir director
Uh-huh.
wouldn't let that old man sing,
Come
and
on.
for some reason, and then they said the old man one Sunday didn't show up, and the next Sunday didn't come, and they got concerned, and they went looking for the old man. Come to find out, he had passed away. And one Sunday, he said, "I found me a choir that'll let me sing." And for some
Uh-oh.
reason, as a 6 year old little boy, I was crying. That just told me I felt so
My
bad for that
God.
old man. And
Oh,
in that
yeah.
moment, I knew I wanted to sing gospel music.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
that
mm.
that's what swayed me over to gospel music. I would say watching the Kenton Spirituals, and it was something about that music that made me feel different from secular music. And
Yes,
of course, at the
indeed.
time, I didn't understand it, but I would say every moment that I had as a child contributed to how I think, how I feel music, how I view music, and how I sense music today. I'm very well knowledged in it, and I don't even have the education behind it. But for some reason, I understand the things that I was never taught.
Yes, indeed. That's that perfect gift from up above. That's
Yeah,
that perfect gift, you know. I have Randall Johnson. He's an artist from Detroit, Michigan, singer and actor. He says that song says he had a tremble in his voice. He had a
yeah, he
tremble in
got
his
a
voice.
tremble in his voice. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Garcia Smith, your mom said Ashford has always been interested in music, even when he was a crawling baby. Ain't that something? Your mom say it was always in you.
Yeah. She said you was
Yes,
singing before you was talking. I can't remember the
I
name of the
know that's
TV show,
right.
but she said I don't know whether it was Good Time or the Jeffersons or somebody, but she said every
Uh-huh.
time the music would come on as a kid, crawling baby, I would always stop in the middle and look at the TV, and then as soon as the music go off, I go on about my business and But so and then what happened was I think when I was like 5 years, 4, 5, 6 years old, they messed around
Mm-hmm.
and bought me a piano,
Uh-oh.
and I didn't know how to play. I remember asking my mama, "How you play this thing, or how you play with two hands?" And she said, "You just
Uh-huh.
got to practice." Then I went back in there and got it and was like, "Ooh, I got it." And I still didn't know what I was doing. And she come in there and I had figured out how to do something, but nevertheless, and not knowing one day, oh, you're gonna be a firm piano player. You're gonna understand this a lot better.
Yes.
And but it just started. They had to just stir the gift up, and they did a great job doing that.
I know that's right. That's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. Singer, musician, you know. I mean, Ashford, I'm happy to have you here tonight. I know you can't see me
Yes,
well
ma'am.
because you're watching the road, but I'm smiling almost the whole show, okay? Because you are
Yes, ma'am.
very entertaining. You are
Uh,
very gifted, and I am enjoying our conversation. So, again,
that's
thank
good.
you so much for being here. And thank all of you who are watching and showing love as well. I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all had to be here for Ashford tonight. I knew it was going to be good.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So, top five contender on Sunday Best was where many
Mhm.
of us got to see you first. We just talked about that a little bit. But what did the show and maybe even the mentors, I don't know, but what did they teach you about not only gospel music, but about the entertainment industry as a whole? What did you learn during that journey?
With Sunday Best, I mean, not to compare the two shows,
Mm-hmm.
but doing AGT versus Sunday Best, I realized I don't know how much I learned from Sunday Best. Um,
Mm,
when I come off Sunday Best, I looked at that show as a blessing and a curse. Uh,
talk about it.
I don't know if Sunday Best was worth the wait. I mean, when I say
Mm,
that, I appreciate the platform that it gave me and exposed me to a lot of people, but
mm-hmm.
I was at a standstill after the show. I was being told what I couldn't do more than what I could do.
Right.
And so me being just this kid from Mississippi, I don't want to get sued. I'm scared. I don't want to go to jail. I don't know, but I want to be able to buy myself a hamburger, and I would love to use my gifts to be able to do that. And I never forget when
Yes.
Donnie McClurkin called me one day about 2 years after the show. My phone rang
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Hey Ashford, it's Pastor Dunn." I said, "Hey." He said, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting in my living room." He said, "That's the problem." And I'm like, "Okay, what are you talking about?" And he
Right.
said, "Why you not out here killing?" He said, "You should be out here killing it, man." I said, "Dunny, I
Yeah.
can't." Every time I try to do something, I'm getting threatened. Promoters are getting threatened to be sued if they allow me to perform at certain events. And
That is
and
bananas.
and
Wow.
Donnie said to me, he said, "Sue 'em." He said, "If they're gonna hold you in the
Mm,
contract, they at least gotta pay you." So I would take him to court and sue 'em.
yeah.
And but of course, I don't have a machine to fight against a machine like that. And I just wanted to be. I'm a gospel artist. I don't want to go through all of that. I just want to sing gospel music.
I
I
just
want
want
to
to
do it
sing.
freely. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know there's a business side, but I ain't trying to fight nobody that sing millions didn't make it. I
Come
just want to
on.
go be happy. And so to answer your question, um, don't get me wrong, Sunday Best was definitely a maturing experience. It was something, a platform that I'd never experienced before,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that I don't know if it made me a better artist. I don't
Mm,
know that it made me, versus what I just experienced with AGT. Something about this show was life changing.
right. A different
And
level.
it was a, it was something different. I can't put my hand on it, but it motivated me to feel like I could do anything.
Wow.
It was just a different level of something. But nevertheless, not to knock Sunday Best, I think the show was cool. I do think it was too political. I don't think that it was a fair show. I
Mm-hmm.
wish that it was really solely up to America, who goes to the next round and who don't go to the next round. I think the results probably would have been differently.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that show was 2012, this 2026, and God has given me a new lease on life and a new platform and a new
Yes,
stage
sir.
to talk about. And I just don't think my journey with AGT is over. I think we're going to work together at some other capacities. And but that's to be determined, and everybody just got to keep watching.
Yes, indeed. Keep watching for sure. Like you said, there were years that passed between Sunday Best and AGT. And I just want to go beyond the stage a bit because your story goes even deeper, which was part of that package that you shared on America's Got Talent. During those years, you experienced some very trying times, but some people may not be aware that you are a walking miracle. You faced some serious issues with your health a few years back, and you talked about coding twice.
Yes.
You're here with us tonight, which means
Mhm.
that you have a powerful testimony. There's a reason that you're still here. Can you share what happened and how your faith helped you get through that time?
Yeah. So 2010, this is before Sunday Best. I was sitting on my stairs one day, um, a few months before this particular day. I had woke up and my eyesight was gone completely.
What?
Yep, eyesight was gone completely, and I didn't call nobody. I didn't tell nobody. I went to the hospital by myself, and because I could see out my peripheral, but anything I looked directly at didn't exist.
Oh my
And so
God.
I drove to the hospital using my peripheral vision. And when I got there, the nurse checked my blood pressure, and she didn't say nothing to me. She ran out the room,
Wow.
and so when she come back in, she got like six doctors with her. And they said, Mr. Sanders, how you feel today? I said, I'm good. They said, you sure? I said, yeah. They said, you
Hmm.
have any chest pains? No. You got a headache? No. Well, sir, you are past the stroke level. Your blood pressure is 240 over 190.
My God.
And they said, with a blood pressure that high, you got kidney damage. And
Wow.
sure enough, they ran tests, they admitted me, and they said, you got about 20% left in each kidney. And so long
Jesus.
story short, about a few months later, I was sitting on my stairs. Of course, since then I had to go keep getting labs and stuff. So I'm sitting on my stairs, and Dr. Monroe called me. My mom. I was at my apartment. My mom
Hmm.
was at the apartment that morning. We're sitting on the stairs, and Dr. Monroe said, "Hey, Ashford, how you doing?" I said, "I'm good." She said, "How you feel this morning?" I said, "I'm fine." She said, "You sure?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Because I mean, I was. I didn't feel bad at all. And she said, "You don't have any chest pains?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "Do you have any headaches?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said,
Hmm.
"Ashford, I need you to go to the University Medical Center right now." And I
Mm.
said, "Huh?" She said, "Ashford, you sick." She said, "You real sick." And I
Wow.
said, "Dr. Monroe, I promise you I'm fine." She said, "Nah, Ashford, I need you to trust me. I need you to go to the university." So I get down to the University Medical Center. Normally
Hmm.
you got to wait 20 hours before anybody see you. But this particular day, they already had a room ready for me, a bed and a gown was on the bed, ready for me to put
Wow.
it on. And so I walk in there, and the nurse said, "I just need you to get undressed, put this gown on, and we'll be back in to talk to you." So my
Mm-hmm.
mom was with me, and so next thing you know, I put the gown on. I'm sitting on the bed at this particular moment. I don't know what we're doing here. And about 8 doctors walk in around the room, and they say, "Hey, Mr. Sanders, how you doing today?" I'm like, "I'm good." And then doctor said, "All right, well, you ready for surgery?"
Hmm.
I said,
Surgery.
"Surgery?" And they was like, "Yeah, we're gonna start you on dialysis today."
Mm.
And something just, it was like a movie, like just flashed past my eyes or something, because I had watched my auntie on dialysis all of my life, and I saw the
Jesus.
way she withered away with it. I saw she struggled with it, and I remember I used to take her food to the dialysis, and I would walk in there and I would see those patients, and I'd be like, "Ooh, I don't never want to end up in a place like this." I mean, I used to say it verbatimly.
Yeah.
And so to hear them saying that they about to start me on dialysis was like, and so I was like, no, no, no,
Mm.
no, no. And that's why millions, that doctor looked at me, that doctor said, "You want to live or you want to die?"
My God.
And in that moment, that was a question I had never been asked before. I'm only 22 years old at the
Jesus.
time. And so next thing you know, 4 hours later, I woke up. I had a catheter in my chest, throat, wherever it was, and I was connected to a dialysis machine, and I'm looking at my blood run through this lines, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah. For
You know,
sure.
it was a real, and but in that moment, I said, all right, it's a new chapter, bro. So you got to learn how to maneuver through this chapter. I never forget. That's the way my mind is flowing, and I'm like,
Mm.
you can't let this run you. You're gonna have to run it.
Yeah.
And so, the only thing I was a little upset with God about was I said, "Lord, how am I supposed to be this traveling gospel artist if I
Mm.
got confined to a clinic 3 days a week? This ain't what you showed me." And then, so happily, my doctor just happened to come around and say, "Mr. Sanders, have anybody spoken with you about home dialysis yet?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, "Well, we're gonna come to you and talk to you about it." And fortunately, shoot, I pretty much been doing home dialysis ever since. Um,
Wow.
and so after that, you're going through life. You got your ups, you got your downs. Of course, dialysis.
Again, we are talking with Ashford Sanders of America's Got Talent and Sunday Best. He is on the road. So, again, we have been having a couple of challenges tonight, but such a great story, such a powerful story. Not just talent, but just being able to bounce back from all the things that he's been through. So, again, thank you all who are watching tonight. Thank you to Evangelist Pamela Kaiser. She said the show gets better and better. More love to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Dexter Weathers is watching tonight. Hey there, Dex. Thank you so much for tapping in. It's so good to have you here. Um, let's see. Sally Gates is here. Let me see. We're going to have to bring one of these down. There we go. Sally Gates is saying, where did it go? My God, as you were giving your testimony. And also my goddaughter's in the building. I call her one of my baby dolls, my goddaughter,
Mhm.
Samaj. Thank you for being here, Samaj, a singer as well. Love you much. All right. So, Ashford, you said, from that time forward, you were doing dialysis at home, correct?
Yeah, yeah, and in doing that, other things start to go wrong. Now you got things like your parathyroid glands that numbers are off the chain. So because of
Mm,
dialysis, you may not be getting adequate treatments here, so it start causing other things to happen. So now I'm having other surgeries on other things, and so it became like an uphill journey, like an uphill battle, with dealing with things. But I
yeah.
never had a moment of pity. I never had a moment of like, "Oh man, this is too much," or "I want to give up," or "I want to throw in the towel." That never was
Right.
my thought process. Still now, never my thought process. Um, and so fast forward after doing Sunday Best, and
Mhm.
uh, in doing Sunday Best, I was doing dialysis in my hotel room.
Wow.
Likewise, Likewise with AGT, I was doing dialysis in my hotel room, and so in 2024, my doctors have been talking to me about getting. Shout out to Dr. Larry Watkins. They have been talking to me about getting on transplant list, doing transplant. So got on the transplant list. They wanted me to get my weight down, got my
Mm-hmm.
weight down, and then once I did that, I started getting calls. We got a possible transplant. So one morning I get the call, they got a kidney, and I'm like
Mm.
nervous, scared, and excited all at the same time. And
Right.
so I go in, they do the surgery. Surgery successful, and at that time I hadn't urinated in over 10 years probably. And to
Wow.
be urinating, was absolutely crazy. Like I forgot what this feels like, and
Yeah.
boy, it was really weird. And so, but it felt good because for 2 weeks I didn't have to put a needle in my arm,
Mm.
and so this kidney is working. I'm urinating. It's my numbers are getting better, but
Yeah.
it's hard as a brick where they did the surgery at. It feels like a rock.
Okay.
And of course, when you first get the transplant, you have to keep going back. Like you have to go back like 5 days a week so they can
Mm-hmm.
keep a check on it to make sure it's doing what it needs to do. And so I'm at the hospital every day, and I'm like, yo, it feels very weird. Like it feels hard, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. That's why I keep telling doctors, stop downplaying stuff just because y'all got a degree. If
Come
a
on.
patient is telling you something is, at least do your due diligence and make sure ain't nothing wrong. Make
Listen
sure
to
you're
them.
right about what you're saying. Listen to the
Mm-hmm.
patient. And so I said, well, y'all, I said, this feeling is a little different than what I've. It's just hard. It doesn't hurt. They said, well, if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't got no pain, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So I'm like, all right,
Mm.
cool. Like that's just scar tissues and stuff. They'll eventually go back, and your skin will be back normal. So I'm like, all right. So about 2 weeks in, I go to my appointment that morning. I
Mm-hmm.
leave the appointment, come back home, sit on the fry me an egg sandwich,
Okay.
and I come back in and I turn CNN and I sit down on the couch. As soon as I sat down, I felt the sharpest pain go from my right side across the left side of my chest
Mm.
to the point where I said, "Whoa, what was that?" And I'm one of them people. I deal with pain well. Like I handle it okay.
Yeah.
And but this was a pain I had never felt before. And then I said, "Shoot, let me just lay down." As soon as I laid down, that pain went from 0 to 1,99999.
My goodness.
And so happenly,
Wow.
one of my musical homies was visiting from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was upstairs working on music, so I would manage to call him. I said, "Bro, I gotta go to the hospital." He said, "Didn't you just come from the hospital?" I said, "Yeah, but I got a pain that I'm feeling right now I've never felt before in my life." I said, "I don't know if this kidney didn't came loose or what, but something is wrong." And then all
Mm.
of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. My breath went to a, and
Jesus.
I was leaning all the way over to the left. And then we get down to Piedmont Hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, this was one of the worst experiences. He brings me a wheelchair. I can't lean to my right. I have to lean extremely to my left because something is going on this right side, and I
Right.
can't I can't bend to the right at all because it's over excruciating. It's a different pain. And so
Mm.
I get in this wheelchair. He pushes me in. They tell me to fill out paperwork. I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Right.
And I said,
Hello.
ma'am, I need to see somebody right now. I need morphine. I need something. And he's like, well, we can't do that. You have to get you back and take your vitals. And I said, yeah, we need somebody. So at this point, I'm leaned over and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm sweating. It's freezing cold, but I'm sweating.
And you drip and sweat.
I'm dripping sweat. And so eventually, after about 30 something minutes of being in that pain, just sitting out there in the wheelchair waiting, the vital nurse comes out and she's very nonchalant. She comes in, she said, so what brings you in today? I said, I don't know. I got this pain on my right side So I just got a transplant not long ago, and
Yeah.
I'm just in pain. So she said, well, let's get a blood pressure on you. She put the blood pressure thing on, and then I said, ma'am, I need you to call somebody. I said, I need some morphine. I said, I just need the pain to go and calm down. And she said, well,
Mm-hmm.
sir, you don't have to be patient. We have several patients, but and so happily while she's talking, a doctor walked by and looked in the room and
Mm-hmm.
passed so imagine passing the door and then you look back. So the doctor walked by, passed the room, but then looked back in the room and was like, hey, y'all need to get him down. He need to go now. Like he gotta go right
Right.
now. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when now the nurse wants to start running.
Yeah.
So the nurse run. Next thing you know, at that point now it's 20 nurses and doctors. They
Oh
put
my
me in this
God.
room and they get me in the room. I know I'm in a hallway. While I'm in this
Mm-hmm.
hallway, the charge nurse or whoever she was on the floor on that floor, she said, "Well, we got to wait till a room open up for him." And so I'm right there, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I just need something to make the pain go away." She said, "Sir, you're not the only patient here that's in pain. You're gonna have to wait your
Oh
turn.
my
Everybody else."
goodness.
Oh, it was bad. And so happily,
Wow.
a doctor came by, and I said, "Sir," I said, "I just need something." He said, "Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and write a prescription." So he did, and he told her, "Go ahead and get him squared away, give him something, and give him the morphine."
Yeah.
When I tell you that lady took her precious time,
I'm
and
sure.
I said, "Ma'am," I said, and she said, "Sir." So I just shut up because at this point, it ain't nothing I can do but just wait. And so eventually, she gave it to me, but it didn't work. It did nothing. And so
Wow.
they took me back, did a now all of this time they don't know I'm on my way to coding.
Yeah.
So they doing all this, they take me back, they do what you call when the ladies get the sonogram thingies. They do something like that to see what's going
Okay.
on. And then they come back and they got a small room that they put
Mm-hmm.
me in. By this time I had told my sister to shut the restaurant down, come to the hospital. And so all of a sudden my sister comes in the room. I'm sweating and she's trying to get a cold towel and wipe me down.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm about to pass out.
Oh my
And
God.
so she said, as I'm saying I'm about to pass out, my body was inflating as if somebody had an air pump and was pumping air into my body. My homie that was my music guy that was there, he was like, yes, bro, your body was blowing up like we saw you just blowing up like somebody had an air pump pumping air into your body.
Wow.
And my sister ran out the room to my, we need help. We need help. And boom, I coded. I was gone. And
My
so
God.
when they brought me back to, when they brought me back to, now it's like 80 doctors and nurses in this one small room. And I hear them they slapping me in my face saying, stay with me, Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders, can you hear me? And so I'm looking at the nurse and they trying to find veins. They sticking me all over my body everywhere, just trying to find a vein to run an IV so they can get me fluid and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the veins kept blowing. And so
Mm.
I looked at the doctor that was on my right and I said, I'm about to pass out. And she said, nope, don't do it. Don't do that. Stay with me. And boom, I coded again. And the next morning, all I know is I woke up on life support. My mom had flew in, auntie them had flew in, and I could hear the doctor saying, even though I had the tube in my down my throat, I
Mm.
heard the doctor tell my mom, we actually lost him twice.
My God.
And they said something is going on. It looked like he had some type of fungal infection. We don't know if that came from the kidney or if
Yeah.
that was something that was already in his body and it just activated. But come to find out, the deceased donor who the kidney that I got the kidney from
Yeah.
had fungal infection and they missed it. Whoever's supposed to check the kidneys missed it. And four people got organs from that deceased donor.
Oh.
Somebody got the heart. The person that got the heart passed away.
Oh my
Um,
God.
the other two people that got they all got attacked with the same infection that I got attacked with,
My
and
God.
so
Jesus.
ultimately they had to go in and take the kidney back out, and unfortunately, um, they had to remove like all of my actual real arteries and veins from my right leg, because the infection had affected it. And so they
Yeah.
had to get all the infection out. So I have artificial veins running on my right side now. And so I was just like,
Ashford, you are messing us up tonight. Do you hear me? My
hey,
God. You are
yeah,
a living testimony.
yeah,
A living testimony. The comments are like, wow, wow, but God, wow. People can say nothing but wow
mhm,
because earlier in this interview, you said, God, this isn't what you showed me.
right,
You didn't show me that I would be tethered to this room all the time. You showed me that I was going to be ministering, singing the gospel
right,
everywhere, basically, wherever
yeah,
He wants to take you. And so there are people who got pieces of that sickness implanted in their bodies and they're not here,
that's true.
but you're one of the ones that's here.
I'm one of the ones who's here.
Huh? And you said that song Millions in the beginning. You was like, but it's part
Yep,
of your testimony.
it's
It
part
was
of the testimony.
designed for you. There were no mistakes on this journey that you
No,
have been on. No mistakes from the very beginning. No mistakes. Randall said, I am done. I'm telling you, you messing us up tonight.
yeah,
And
it
that's
was
what I
tough.
love about being able to have artists come and share their story because we love you as a singer. We
Yeah,
love the gift that you have, but there's more to you than just the song.
that's
God has
true.
called you to share your story as well because you are encouraging someone who don't think that they can make it
Right.
or the doctors
That's
have given them a report and you saying but God,
yeah.
but God. Evangelist Hurdy Randolph said, but God had another plan that you knew not of.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Kiana Willis
Yeah.
said, good evening. Blessings. Blessings to you, Kiana. Thank you so much for tapping in tonight. Yes, indeed. You are a miracle. You're a
Yep.
miracle.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember telling them, I said, shoot, I was better off without the dang on transplant.
Without
I
the
said
transplant.
I was
Do you
better
hear
off
me?
without the transplant. Yeah. Because they just made y'all, I mean, y'all caused problems that I didn't have. And so, of course,
My goodness.
I really think I got a crazy lawsuit, a huge lawsuit because
I'm
it was at
sure.
somebody else's negligencies. But I'm back on the transplant list. So after they take the kidney out, of course I'm disappointed because now you mean to tell me I got to go back on dialysis after 2 weeks of not having to put needles in my arm, and but I'm like,
My
all right,
God.
bro, it's a story. It's a part of your story. You just got to go the journey. That's the way my mind run on that. And so I start back, doing my dialysis stuff,
Yeah.
and so now I'm going through my recovery process,
Mm-hmm.
and of course now they got me on medicine to get rid of the infection, the fungal infection, and so the medicine is causing me to be sick, and so
Oh
it
my
was just
goodness.
a tough process. And long story short, I can't get another kidney now at that particular time until the infection is gone,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so it's an uphill journey. And so, long story short, going through the year 2024, dealing with that, and then December the 18th, 2024. By this time, I'm back at work. I done kind of
Mm-hmm.
healed up. Okay, I've kind of bounced back. Okay, I'm doing okay. And I
Yes.
go to work and I get a call and they say, "Your house on fire."
My God.
Now I'm supposed to be hosting Christmas next week, and they call me and say your house is on fire. And I said, "Y'all sure y'all at the right house?" And they say, "We're at the right house." And sure enough, I leave work, go home, and my house is engulfed in flames. firefighters are everywhere, and I'm like, how? We didn't even have
Ooh,
power this morning. And so
Jesus.
house it went from tr- my dialysis machine then burnt up in the house. So that was a like, okay, what do you do? And long story short, thank God for insurance. They put us up in a hotel.
Yeah,
The dialysis clinic sent me out a new machine the same day, and so I was able to make it through. But now we're homeless, and
Jesus.
and so it was a
Ooh,
process. It was a
yeah,
long process, and so it's been an uphill journey, an uphill battle, But I tell anybody, the one thing I've learned that helped me over the years, when I first got on dialysis, and I walked into the dialysis clinic one day,
mm-hmm.
and I saw a 6-year-old little boy had both his legs amputated, and he
Mm,
and he was on dialysis. And then I looked over
Jesus.
and I saw another man didn't have but one leg, and I saw another lady sitting on the other side. She didn't
Yeah,
have no arm. I saw somebody else, and they were completely blind.
my
And
God.
I looked at that and I said, I'm just gonna tell you what I said. I said, Negro, I wish you would complain about anything
Can't
because
complain.
you on dialysis, but you walked in here.
Yes, sir.
You walked in here on your two good legs, and you sat down and you put your own needle in your arm. Didn't nobody else have to do it. You did it for yourself, and
Jesus.
so this showed me that it could have been worse.
Yes.
So I had no room for complaining, and in knowing that, I think that mentality helped me push forward through every single thing that I've had to go through over the years and that have dealt with, and it just
Hmm.
encouraged me to keep going because I always said, "Hey, could be worse,"
Could be
you know.
worse, you know?
So
My
that's the
God.
encouragement, you know.
Yes, yes, indeed. I got Sally Gates. She said, "You got tears in my eyes." Dexter Weather said, "That is why I love the Lord. He keeps on doing it." Your mom
Yeah,
said, "I thank God every day for keeping him, giving him the strength to be able to keep on with life, to be able to follow his dreams. Ashford has accomplished a lot in his life, and I am so proud of him." Yes,
yeah,
indeed. Connie Quave, she said, "What?" As you were giving your testimony, she like, "What?"
yeah.
Kiana Willis said, "You walked in there." And she also said, "The right perspective will change your life."
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah,
Oh, we, Ashford, I'm telling you, this has been so good. We still gonna journey just a little bit.
yeah.
We gonna
And
journey a
shout out
little
to
bit
my mama
further.
though, because you know how hard that is for your parent to be there and
Come on.
can't solve the problem.
Can't
You know,
solve it.
you got to sit there and rub your head, and
Yeah.
rub where your pain is, but they can't
Mm.
fix it. The only thing mama can say is Lord have mercy.
Yes,
And so
indeed.
you have to take that and you have to realize how hard that is just on the ones that wish they could do something about it and can't do nothing about it but just be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She said, "Lord have mercy." And he did just that. He had mercy on you. Your mother's
Right.
prayer.
Most
He heard
definitely.
her prayers. He heard her prayers. One thing I know is that you are a man of resilience. Not only are you a great performer, you're also an entrepreneur and you own Ashford's Kitchen in Atlanta. Tell me about
Mhm.
Ashford's and set the stage for me. If I walked in there and I grabbed a menu, what am I going to find? Now, the jingle is down home sounding like quartet, and it says you got the best
Right.
food around. So, what are we going to find at Ashford's?
um you know for years, I've been a little chubby boy,
Uh huh.
and
Uh huh.
I hate going to I love buffets, but I hate going
Okay.
places and the food bland, and I hate going and it's not seasoned and it's not fresh. And when you ask them, "Hey, can I get some fresh chicken?" Everybody got an attitude because they got to drop you some fresh chicken that they ain't gonna lose nothing by dropping it anyway.
Talk
And
about it.
so I said, if I ever open a restaurant, I want it to be an all
Uh-huh.
you can eat buffet. And I want the food to be so good, it'll make you rededicate your life to the Lord. And
Ooh-wee.
so, and so when I started just, cooking for me comes from, when I was a little kid, my grandmama, Nancy Lee,
Uh-huh.
one day she set me on the countertop and she took some flour and some cold water and some cold butter, and she shredded the butter up and she started kneading this flour together on the counter. She added a little more flour, then she added a little
Uh-huh.
more water, and before you know it, she took an old little mayonnaise top and she started cutting these little holes out. And next
Talk
thing you
about it.
know, she fried some red roast sausage and we had some biscuits, syrup, and red roast sausage that morning. And they was
Ooh-wee.
so good. And so then one day she said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And she sat me in the chair and she took 3 sticks of butter and some sugar, 3 cups of sugar. She put it in
Mm-hmm.
this mixer and turned it on and started mixing it together. And then little by little, she started adding ingredients, eggs. She added like 6 eggs and some lemon extract and some vanilla,
Uh-huh.
some almond flavor. And folks, she knew we had the best pound cake you ever tasted in your life. And so something from that triggered something and it made me interested. So to
Mm-hmm.
get back to the restaurant, I was like, I want people to come here and I want them to say, I've never had food where everything that I ate was good. I've never been to a place where every single thing I ate was excellent. And so
Yes.
those were the reviews we were getting. So I started doing baked turkey wings, fried chicken, candied yams.
Ooh-wee.
I like to put field peas and okra on my bar. Give me some good eating, boiled okra, fried okra. I love I do these scalloped potatoes where we cut the potatoes up and I put,
Uh-huh.
I smother it with onion and garlic. And then I cover it up with heavy cream, cheese, shredded cheese, and little parsley and little
Yes,
salt,
sir.
little pepper. Let me tell you
Uh-huh.
something. When I tell you it's a sin, it's so good. It just don't make no sense that it's that good.
No
And so,
sense. And I could taste it. I'm like,
oh man, and so I had an employee one time.
uh-huh.
I get there, and so when I got a recipe book. I said, listen,
Okay.
don't nobody change nothing. Make everything the way this book say. Make it.
Yes.
So every time I come in, I always get a plate and I get a
Mm-hmm.
little this because I want to taste it because I know right off back what it tastes like. And
Yes.
so I go up in there and I get scalloped potatoes. Soon as I taste them, I said, "There's no garlic in these potatoes."
Ooh.
And I go back there and I said, "Who made the potatoes?" And the lady was like, "I made them." She was like, "But I did some with garlic, some without." She got fired. I'm
Ooh,
like,
you got to go. I said, don't touch my recipe book.
"Don't change nothing." Because let me tell you what happened. That
Uh-huh.
same day, I got a review that said, "Man, they changed the recipe. I used to get the scalloped potatoes. I went in there today though, but they didn't taste as good as they normally taste."
No,
And that
sir.
don't change nothing on my menu, cuz. You
Don't
know what
do
I'm
it.
saying? Yeah, no, don't do that now. But what I love to do is, you know, because you can't, you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
So I love to do stuff like sometimes I would do like we're gonna do trial and error day.
Okay.
So if an employee had an idea of a certain recipe,
Mm-hmm.
I would order extra wings or extra whatever, and we would stay after hours, and I would let
Mm.
them try their ideas and see what they come up with.
They could test it
You know,
out.
we can
Okay.
test it out and
I
see.
like that.
And my sister was the first person and she made some pasta, and
Uh-huh.
it was off the chain. I
Ooh.
said, add it to the menu.
Put it in the
You know,
book.
put it in the book, babe. And so we
That's
added it to
right.
the menu. And so those are some of the things we would do. But Ashford's Kitchen is a place where you can come and you feel one of the things we did, we had to stop putting the table time on it because
Mm-hmm.
for some reason people would come in the restaurant and sit there for like 5 hours.
Oh
Because
my goodness.
but,
It felt
but let
like
me tell you,
home.
the trick. I would
Okay.
let I would let gospel music play. So when we leave the restaurant,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't turn off the gospel station. I would let preaching and gospel music play all night long in an empty restaurant.
Wow.
I would let it play. And so when you get in the next morning, there's already some kind of atmosphere in
I
there.
was gonna say
And
you set
so
the atmosphere.
when people came in, they just be sitting there and they be like 4 and 5 hours go by and they just be chilling. They been sat there so long they can eat again.
It's
You
time.
know, it's time to eat again. And so we had to start putting like an hour and 30-minute table time on it because people wouldn't leave. But I knew that's
Yeah.
what it was. It was that God that was left in the room, you
Yes,
know. um,
sir.
Yep, and I used to put on that Smokey Norfolk did this prayer where he said, Father God, I want to thank you today. You know, come
Uh-huh.
head out and body bend. And so I used to I love that. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me. Thank you, Lord, for shielding me. Thank you, Father. And boy, I used to let it just play on repeat and just saturate. I need to go listen to it now. But anyway,
Okay.
it
I'm
used,
like, you
it
giving
used
me church on a Thursday night. I'm ready. I'm like, yes,
yeah,
Lord.
that used to bless me. And so I think that was definitely one of the things that makes a difference in the restaurant, us letting that gospel play all day long and play overnight when the restaurant is closed. And my employees don't
Yeah.
understand it, but I'd be like, y'all, it's a spiritual thing. Just let me have my moment.
That's right. That's right. That there is something about dedicating your gift or whatever God has given you back to him. That's what I did with this platform. You know, I take artists from different backgrounds, but my atmosphere is set before God. When I have an artist who's coming, I'm prayed up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm like, Lord, you have your way because this goes out around the world.
right,
We never know who we're going to touch. We never know who's watching. And I want God to always have his way. His way is
right,
the best way anyway. It ain't nothing that I could do that's going to outdo him. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, look, your food is blessed, your restaurant is blessed, the people come in and they leave feeling blessed. You know, how could they not? Because you set the atmosphere in
Right.
his presence. Now, Ashford, I know you got to go because you done made it to your destination, but I got a few more things for you, okay? And we going to
Okay.
move quick. Think about young Ashford and there's another little boy in Canton or
Mhm.
somewhere around the world who dreams of singing just like you did. What words of encouragement would you give him today?
I would say be anxious for nothing.
That's
You
good
know,
stuff.
I would say, being anxious makes you make ignorant decisions. You
Mm,
make decisions based off hype and based off you really want this to happen and you're not processing it in God's speed or God's timing. You want it now because you want it, but you're not finding out. So, not to be super spiritual about it, what I've learned is you have to be slow to react to almost everything,
mm-hmm.
you know, and you need to get confirmation. And I don't know how everybody confirmation comes differently, but to any young kids that's looking to make it in the music industry, number one, it's not all that it's cut out to be. It's a lot of political politics, and it can be extremely messy.
Yes,
um
sir.
you know, if you're tied in with the wrong people, people taking your money, people just wanting to profit off of you and not really caring about you as an individual person. uh
Yes.
and so next thing you know, you got a hit record but you can't buy yourself a burger. You know,
Mm,
you got a hit record but your lights are turned out.
yeah,
And so I think you have to, in today's climate, you don't really need a label. You don't really need you don't really need these big machines behind you because you got social media, you got these streaming platforms, um, where you can release a song and it can just go viral if the right person shares it.
that's right. That's
You
the
know,
truth.
yeah. So I mean, I would just say have a plan as to what you want to do and believe that you can do it and keep negative folks out your ear. Like like I can't stand people in my ear that say stuff to me like, no, I think you thinking too big on that, or no, I think you trying to do too much on that. Okay, you got to get out of my life
Yeah.
because there's nothing impossible. Not if we can, not if I can visualize it. If I can
Yeah.
just visualize it, I believe it can happen.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, and so
mm.
that's the way my mind runs. So I would say to every young person, believe in yourself, even when your family don't. Like I don't have a supportive family. You know what I'm saying? I got this Sunday, not Sunday best, this America's Got Talent journey. I ain't had no big portion of my family to reach out. I know they know about it, but you
Yeah.
think they can call me and say, "Hey, man, we rooting for you," or "Congratulations," or but I'm used to it because your worst support come from those people who are the closest, or and you just got to you take it. So I'm saying that to say to every young person, sometimes you have to get away from your kinfolk.
Yes,
You had
sir.
to get away from, even sometimes it's even sometimes when it's mom and them. If they can't see the vision, if they can't get behind you and support what you feel God is leading you to, then you got to go do a different route. You got to go a different direction, not to be disrespectful to them, but you got to believe
Right.
in you. You got to believe in you when don't nobody else believe in you. And so that's my encouragement to all young people, just people in general though.
Yes, indeed. I have my niece watching. She's a young lady. She said, Amen. Amen, niece. That's right. You
Most
listen up. You listen up. All right. I'm so glad to have you on here.
definitely.
Just briefly, I want to do a rapid fire with you. This is something that I try to do with all the artists just so we can do something fun right before you
Mhm.
go. So first thing that comes to mind, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All righty. One artist you'd love to record a song with.
Oh my gosh. One artist I would love to record a song with is
Look, you not sure?
I mean, I don't think there's nobody I want to record with like that.
All right, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, you say
Yeah,
me.
well, yeah, shoot. Me, I would love to record with Dorinda Clark Cole.
Dorinda. Okay, okay. A
Yeah.
song that always puts you in a good mood.
I like Tim Rogers got a song, so him and John P. Key. I get to kick it. God's gonna
Hey.
turn it around. Yeah, something like that.
All right. Yes, God's gonna turn it around. Now they compared you to the legendary Luther Vandross. So your favorite Luther song.
Oh, definitely. But oh, chair's not a house is not a home when there's no one there. All right, that's enough.
Quit playing with it, okay? Still
Still
in
in
love.
love
Yes.
with you. Yeah, that's Luther, baby.
Ashford, don't you play dropping that note like that. I was like, wait a minute. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Any bobo shaky, brah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What song takes you back home to Mississippi?
I would say I definitely like stuff like come from a poor fam. We didn't have much. Oh, but love been good to me. I love that kind of that it got a grit to it. See, the thing with music is
Yes.
music just carries certain types of anointing, and most new music today don't carry it. It don't have it. You know.
No, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir. You
I-
telling the truth. You were singing that. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. That's what I feel
yeah.
like go behind that, you
I'm
know?
telling you. I'm telling you.
Yes,
And you can
indeed.
relate to it. That's why I told people with quartet, it's just relatable. I didn't have no money. A lot of
Come
my
on.
friends thought that was funny. But I'm so glad today I can stand right here and say that the Lord. See, back then I didn't have money, but today I got
Uh-huh.
my own car. I got my own house. He
Come
been
on.
good to me. You
He
know?
been good.
Yeah,
Yes. Look, I was testifying to a friend about that today. I say, honey, God makes me look good. I ain't
I'm
got
telling you.
everything that people think I got, but it's coming.
It's
It's
coming.
coming. Hello.
All right. My uncle used to
Yes.
say, my uncle always say about how my grandmama made him wear my mama blouse to school because he ain't have no clothes. You know,
Wow.
So she made
Right.
him wear my mama blouse, and it takes him to it takes him to tell the story because he's crazy. But I think about that song when it said, "We were raised in a shack, y'all. Sometime clothes were thin that we put on our back,
Come
but
on.
mama and daddy they done the best they could, and they always told me, son, always be good." And so you look back and you just,
Mm,
I remember growing up in a house where my mama, my auntie, my two aunties, all their kids, eh, 12 of us in a two-bedroom house,
my God. Okay.
sleeping on the floor, sleeping over each other. But you look back at where you at now, you said, God been good to me.
God's been good to me. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me ask you this. If your voice had a flavor, what would it
Yeah.
taste like? What would
Oh,
that,
Lord. That
if
is
your
funny.
voice had a flavor?
If my voice had a flavor, what would it taste like? Mm.
Uh-huh. Give us one of them again. Do it one more time.
Yeah, yeah. If my voice had a flavor, what would that taste like? That
That
is an
sounded like
interesting
honey.
question. I would definitely say it would have to be something, but something that's savory sweet.
Ooh, sweet and savory. I
Yeah, it
know
had to be
that's
a
right.
savory sweet. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Like
I
Howie Mandel said, it feels like a warm blanket.
Yes. Hello. Wrapped. Do you hear me?
Yeah,
Wrapped. Your mom said Ashford knows I love when he sing Luther. I know that's right.
yeah.
Uh-oh. My niece said you over there sounding like salted caramel. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Watch out now.
Watch out there now.
Watch out
Ashford,
now.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes,
much
ma'am.
for being here tonight. It has been such a blessing and a pleasure. I know that Millions is streaming now, and On Time is also streaming as well as more music. Tell the people how they can support you and what's next.
So definitely you can first of all go follow me on all of my platforms at Ashford Sanders on Instagram, Ashford Sanders on what else? Facebook, TikTok, everything at Ashford Sanders. Also, I got a new website that's going up, I think as of midnight tonight, ashfordsandersmusic.com. And so you
Mm,
can log on to that website to just learn a little more about me, kind of see my journey and some of the things that I've done and accomplished. And next, we're going to capitalize on the moment from AGT. We got several things coming up. Where we just got booked to do something with Shaquille O'Neal and TikTok
come
up in
on.
New York City, along with the Orlando Magic reached out. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to nail the national anthem for one of their larger games. And also, we got a couple of other big time people reaching out for us to do certain things and several things. So, and
Yes.
in the studio, getting ready to release my version of the Billie Eilish song, "What Was I Made For," and the Teddy Swim song, "All That Really Matters." But on the gospel side, I got a song that I wrote called "Broken," and
Hmm.
"Broken" talks about. When I moved to Georgia, I met so many people who had lost their faith in God and they were hurt by the church. And one guy said, "Well, I don't mess with God, he don't mess with me." And one lady,
Mm.
she said, "Well, my grandmama told me to fast and pray, and I prayed to God that He healed my grandmama, and she still died." She said, "So I don't want to serve that God." And so I wanted to write a song from their perspective, people that are broken,
Yeah.
and what do they hope for? What do they cling for when they're in that place? And so I think that's going to be a really great song, and for such a time as now. So there's a lot of irons in the fire. We got some things coming. Y'all got to stay tuned and keep supporting and keep watching.
That's right. That's right. Y'all heard it from Ashford himself. Great things coming. Great things have already been happening. I am so excited for your journey. Thank you so much again for being
Yes, ma'am.
here on Talented Thursdays tonight. You know, you did not have to say yes, but you did. And I'm
Yes,
honored.
ma'am.
I am honored. So God bless you. Enjoy your night. And I know you have some things that you have to do. Like you said, you have your tribute for Doug Williams that is coming up. We will
Yes.
be watching out for you. Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
ma'am.
none other than Mr. Ashford
Mhm.
Sanders. Yes,
Thank y'all so
indeed.
much.
Yes. God bless you. God bless you. And come back
Likewise.
anytime. You hear me?
All right, I got you. I appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. God bless you. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. Thank you all again. Thank you so much for watching Talented Thursdays tonight. It has been an honor and a privilege to have none other than Mr. Ashford Sanders. Now, look, you know it ain't nothing but love when somebody call you from the road. He was on a journey to a destination, but he took us on a journey as well, not only with his beautiful voice, but also with just his testimony. So I told you tonight, you were going to be blessed. I believe that there was something in what he said tonight that could encourage you to go on a little further. As a matter of fact, that could encourage you to go on a lifetime. If you enjoyed this episode, again, make sure that you are subscribed to Talented Thursdays on YouTube. And also, you can find the podcast. You can find it on Apple. You can also find it on Amazon and Spotify. And if you enjoyed the show, I am also now on Buy Me a Coffee. So you can go ahead and show your love and support for the show by going to Buy Me a Coffee /Talented Thursdays. Blessings to you all. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care of yourselves. Be blessed, and we'll see you soon. All right? Bye.
Thank you for watching. Please support by subscribing to Talented Television on YouTube.